meditation, and that meditation is going to be on mindfulness. If we look at mindfulness, mindfulness can be described as paying attention, deliberate attention to your life in the present moment without judgment. So if we break that definition down into 3 parts, looking at deliberate attention. Deliberate attention is consciously deciding to observe the sensory details of your experience. So knowing that no detail is too small. So as you're in the experience, notice every little piece about it. So I know that sometimes when I've drove before, I can get from one spot to the next and not really pay attention to anything along the way. So consciously paying attention to every single experience along the way is deliberate attention. And then in the present moment, we know that the past has already happened and there's nothing that we can change about it. We know that the future hasn't happened yet, and so there's no reason to necessarily get anxious about what's going to happen. So if we're in that present moment, we're living in the here and the now, just paying attention to that experience, and that's the only time we can have that experience is in that present moment. And then we're looking at without judgment, and that's a tough one. Without judgment can get in the way of mindfulness when it has this sense of contracting the mind, and it almost brings in this critical or grasping energy to it. And so then we almost put a label on it or put too much definition into that. So we just allow the experience to happen without really judging the experience. And what's the point of mindfulness? We use that word all the time about being mindful. And it's this ability to teach us how to disengage from our thoughts. We have this stream of thoughts constantly going through our mind, and it never really slows down. And so when we're conscious about it, we get this chance to really go through our thoughts and decide which ones are good thoughts to keep and which ones we'd rather get rid of. And with that, we can recognize that these thoughts aren't who we are. We have the chance of deciphering through them and keeping the ones that we want and letting go of the rest. And know that these thoughts are just creations of our mind. And so it makes it just a little bit easier to let that go. So in today's meditation, I'm going to invite you to come all the way down onto your back. And if you'd like to have a bolster underneath your knees, go ahead and take that bolster underneath your knees. If you'd rather stay seated, go ahead and stay seated. If you're lying on that back, imagine that you're lying in this grassy field and the sun is shining on you. And with that, just allow your body to melt into the grass. Feeling the grass underneath you, and it's this nice soft grass that's nice and full, and the sun is warming up your skin. And right now the sky is clear. There's a blue sky above us, and you can imagine that sky. And as you're comfortable laying on your back, looking up at that blue sky, as thoughts start to come in, imagine each thought as a cloud. And that cloud comes passing into your view, and it just stays. You recognize the cloud, and looking at that cloud as a thought, stop, breathe, and be with that thought. And maybe you want to respond, maybe this isn't even a time that you want to respond. And you can either just let that thought or cloud pass by, or maybe you want to keep that cloud or thought with you and keep it in your sky. And maybe the next thought or cloud that comes into your view is an experience. And again, you recognize this experience or thought, and you stop, you breathe, and you be with that cloud. And then again, maybe you allow that cloud to pass by. Or maybe you would like to keep that cloud and save it. And knowing that each cloud that comes through is just another thought. And just as easily as those thoughts come in, they can easily pass by. And right now, our day is a sunny day. But the more clouds that we gather and that we keep, it gets cloudier and cloudier. And maybe we need this cloudy day. Sometimes a cloudy day can be very good for us to really kind of settle in. Maybe giving you a chance to notice which one of these thoughts can trigger some emotions, maybe emotions of frustration. And using this conscious effort to almost look at those thoughts and decide how you are going to respond to them. And then maybe after settling with that, maybe then that cloud can pass by. Maybe we want to hold on to some of those thoughts that bring us happiness, that make our heart full. Maybe we're just not ready to let go of some of those clouds. And just as each passing of the cloud comes in and it presses out of our view, stop, breathe, and be with each new cloud that comes in. Knowing that mindfulness is that awareness and that acceptance of the present experience. It's not really more complicated than that. And then as those clouds start to pass by, that sun starts to shine on your skin again, warming you up. Start to feel a little energy in the body again, allowing the breath to be full. Taking a slow inhale in. Stop. Breathe. And be in this present moment. And then start to slowly blink your eyes open. Maybe take a full stretch through your arms and through your legs. And then slowly roll yourself up to a seated position. And then sweep those arms all the way up to the sky, reaching up through those arms, and lower your hands right down to your heart center. Take a deep breath into your heart, filling it with gratitude. And the next time you get a chance, maybe stop, breathe, and be. Maybe lay down in a grassy field or at a park and just watch the clouds pass by. Thank you for practicing a little meditation with me, and namaste.